family. If you're in or near Columbia, South Carolina, you've got to visit the House of Hathor, located at 6319 North Main Street. Open Tuesday through Saturday, it's your one-stop shop for African clothing, African masks, natural soaps, incense, candles, jewelry, and more. Plus, they've got a beautiful event space. Owned and operated by Baba Rutaski and Mama Neterma Canute. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the culture. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the movement. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the people.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the House of Hathor's Libation, Liberation, Lifestyle Ceremony, where we come to you with the message from the ancestors that continues to be the foundation of life that exists within us as well as without us. That the ancestors continues to bring forth the information and instructions that continues to guide us, that continues to nurture us, that continues to protect us as we continue to fulfill our obligation, our commitment, and our purpose through the intentions that have been placed upon us by their great energy, spirit, and their soul. So let us bring the ancestors involved this day as we continue to be revitalized, as we continue to be encouraged, inspired, as we continue to gain insight, as we continue to be enlightened for our true purpose, and that is to make this world a better place than what we inherited. We call upon our ancestors far and near, fathers and mothers of our fathers, mothers and fathers of our mothers, to bear witness to all that we have done. And it is by your example that you continue to inspire us towards reclaiming our ancestral minds, regenerating our ancestral spirit, liberating our families, our homes, and our communities, and restoring our greatness as a people. We pour libation to bring into our midst your venerable ancestral spirit, radiating your great wisdom, your courage, your dedication, and your unyielding commitment to victory by any means necessary. It is in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors, our mothers and fathers, our sisters and our brothers, our children and their children, our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, our aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and elders of the community, that we pour this libation in your honor. In the honor of the Creator, our great ancestor of all ancestors, and the various manifestations of the creative spirit, we pour libation. Ashe. For our esteemed ancestors, who laid the foundation for human civilization, and who provides the wisdom to which we live and the models by which our lives are guided, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors, who suffered the atrocities and the horrors of our Ma'afa, but yet demonstrated the victorious power of the ancestral spirit by maintaining their dignity no matter the cost, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors who survived and made it possible for us to be here today, that we continue the fight of our ancestral liberation and our vindication, we pour libation. Ashe. And finally, for our children and their children and future generations of our ancestors to come, that they too in their time will vindicate our race from our adversaries, and that they will continue to imprint upon the world the great genius of our ancestral humanity, we pour libation. Ashe. May your venerable spirit engulf this occasion to reaffirm our ancestral canity. It is done. The great ancestor of all ancestors is satisfied. Ashe. 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 Dua Nater. So we say, Hotep, peace and power to you all this day, my brothers and sisters, as we continue to live, love, and learn our processes of life that governs our thoughts, our words, and our actions. That the ancestors are given to us today are words of wisdom that continues to bring forth the breath of life. The breath of life that exists within us. It is for us to continue to sustain, maintain our way of life, our way of living, that continues to be an attribute of our ancestors. And that this breath of life that we have, its continuance is based upon what we are creating, what we are building, what we are manifesting, that shows honor, that shows commitment, that shows obligation, that shows a sense of purpose in everything that we think, in everything that we speak, and in everything that we do. That means all of our lives should be for sustaining and maintaining this breath of life that we have. It doesn't matter what your profession is, because your profession should go towards sustaining and maintaining the breath of life that you have. That means that every thought, word, and action that you commit yourself to should be towards sustaining and maintaining the breath of life, because the breath of life is the gift. The breath of life is the enhancement, the increase, the enrichment that we have within ourselves. And so every waking moment that we have should be towards sustaining and maintaining the breath of life. The homes that we build, it is for us to make sure that we are safe, that we have coverage of us. The clothes that we wear, it covers the temple. It keeps us warm. It keeps us cool. The work that we provide for our families and our communities, it is for sustaining and maintaining the breath of life. If you are a doctor, if you are an engineer, if you are a retail that sells clothes, that sells health items, that sells things for the body, then it is for sustaining and maintaining the breath of life. If you are a farmer, if you are a teacher, it is about sustaining and maintaining the breath of life. If you are a custodian, if you are a fireman or a police officer, whatever it is that you do for a living, it is about sustaining and maintaining the breath of life. And every culture has their way of sustaining and maintaining the breath of life. One does not overpower the other, or it should not overpower the other. And we should not allow anyone else to take away our way of living that sustains and maintains the breath of life that we have within us. Every waking moment, every thought, every idea that you may have, every creativity that is within you, it is about sustaining and maintaining the breath of life that you have within yourself. And if you're not thinking on that level, if you're not thinking in that way, if you're not thinking in those parameters, then that means that you should go back and do your prayers, your meditation, whatever it is that you need to do, so that the ancestors and the Creator, the great ancestor of us all, can give you information and instructions for you, that you may continue to create and manifest in the likeness of the Creator and our ancestors, that helps you to sustain and maintain the breath of life that you have. Because every living organism only works towards sustaining and maintaining the breath of life, or the energy and spirit that it has within itself. Everything that the Creator has created is only about sustaining and maintaining the breath of life, or the energy and spirit that it has about itself. And if you're not doing those things, then that means that you're going to be used to help somebody else, another culture, another way of life that is different of your own. And so we must make sure that we are doing what is righteous, what is our truth, and our justification of that truth. Truth means that you do whatever it takes in order for you to sustain and maintain the breath of life that you have. Now, that doesn't mean that you take away from others so that you can do it, because you have an obligation, a commitment to yourself to do what is right, and to do what is truthful, and to do what is just. Not what is fair, because everyone's ideal of what fairness is may be different. So we want to do what is just. And your righteousness will be based on the just that you have about yourself. And your just is only based on your values, your interests, and your principles. What do you stand for? Why are you living? What is the purpose of your life? What is your intentions? What do you intend to do to make sure that you are able to sustain and maintain your breath of life, the way of living? That is communal, that is collective, and that is unitarily righteous for where you stay, where you live. That is where everything comes together. That means that collectively we all must work together as a culture of people, and not think about, well, am I doing what's right by them, or am I doing right what's by them? What are you doing that's right for your own family and for your own community? Are you in balance, harmony, and order with the way of life that extends itself to your family and your community? Do you have the things in place in your own communities that reflects the breath of life that you have, that reflects the way of living that you have within yourself? Do you have the commitment? Do you have the purpose? And do you have the intentions to do the work that you are required to do? Because we're not a monolithic society. We are not an individual type of people. We are a collective, a cooperative that works in unity with the breath of life, with the energy, with the spirit, and with the soul that dwells within us. Because all three of those entities do not work by itself. It works in collaboration and collective with this temple, with this body that our spirit is housed in. If the body was able to live, each vessel, each artery, each organ, if it was able to live by itself, then it would, but it cannot, because it all works together. And we must work together to sustain a way of life that is reflective, that is in a frame of reference, and that is in an identity of our world, of our worldview. How do we see ourselves living amongst all the other things that the Creator has created? Are we living in balance, harmony, and order with everything that's been created? And if we're not, then that means that we have to rethink what we're doing so that we can do what is right by us and create. If it is not there, create it, build it, sustain it, and maintain it. At all costs, sustaining and maintaining. Building at all costs, but sustaining and maintaining. Creating at all costs, but sustaining and maintaining. This is what the ancestors is bringing to us today. This is the time that we must do the work. Social media does not give us the authority to do what is right. That is someone else's way of building what they want for themselves, but we can use technology to the betterment of our frame of reference, our identity, our worldview. And then we must create our own. Create our own social media. For all of our tech-savvy brothers and sisters out there, create one. And then all others, let's invest in what they have created. Bring something to the table to where we can say that we are creating something specifically for us so that we can introduce it to our spirit, and that the spirit introduces us, the spiritual way of life, on how to use what we have manifested, what we have created, what we have built in the likeness of that spirit, energy, and soul that dwells within us. So we say peace and power to you all this day. Let us continue to live, love, and learn the processes of life that has been governing us. That is what's governing us. It is not people that govern. It is spirit, energy, and soul that governs us to do the work that we are required to do, that we should be obligated and committed to doing, and that our intentions continues to maintain our way of life. Our intentions continues to maintain our identity, the spirit, the energy, and the soul. Our intentions continues to be a frame of reference in everything that we think, everything that we speak, and everything that we do. Peace and power to you all, and ashe to our ancestors.